The odd time customers will ask us if we'll still build a PTO system. And I kind of liken the PTO system to a Rube Goldberg machine. You got this extremely complex set of events. You got an engine, a PTO, transmission. You got belts and pulleys and bearing stands that all need greasing. And you got this complex series of events happening just to make a fan turn. It's pretty hard to go back 50 years and build a PTO system when you've got a great system like the HAVAC system that's compact, tight, almost no maintenance. You got 2 bearings that you can grease. You check your oil every day. For the most part, it's an extremely simple design. And I can't always guarantee that this isn't going to break down. It will, because mechanical devices do break down from time to time. But what I can do is guarantee that when it does break down, it's going to be a lot simpler and easier to fix than a PTO system. So you're back up and running in minutes instead of days or weeks, and it's not an expensive repair bill. So having the HAVAC system, seeing this, now let's take a minute and just explain how PTO systems work. It basically starts at the truck's engine. So underneath this hood, you got a big 300 horsepower engine driving all this horsepower, you would assume. And that's the funniest part about this whole thing is you got this massive 300 horsepower engine using 300 horsepower worth of gas. It's a very expensive engine, a very expensive transmission, and you're wearing this stuff out just to get 40 horsepower to the back of your truck, which is complete nonsense. That's why I always liken it to a Rube Goldberg machine, because down here you got a big engine. Off the side of the transmission, you've got a power takeoff box. Coming off the power takeoff box, you'll have a short stub shaft, and that brings you from there to the body. You got bearing stands, another set of drive shafts, more bearings again, and then a set of pulleys. And then on that set of pulleys, if you're doing it in a more modern way, you'll at very least have a fluid coupler, let's hope, to help absorb that impact or the shock of the transmission getting kicked in all the time. And then up there, from there, you got another set of belts going up to another set of pulleys, and then those pulleys are going to drive off to the fan and then drive off to your compressor. And that's a whole lot of stuff going on. And the really critical part about this whole thing is inside that transmission, especially the automatic transmissions, you've got that drive gear, that little walnut gear. And it's spinning around 1600 RPMs. And so you go to engage that PTO and you got a hard clunk in, boom. Now you're supposed to get that big shaft, 2-inch, 3-inch shaft, up and turning to 1400 RPMs instantly. Well, it doesn't work very well. And so that's the whole part of PTO systems. That's the Achilles heel. That transmission is not designed to handle that long shaft. PTO systems in these trucks are more designed for hydraulic motors, for pumps, things like that, to make a deck tilt or a tow truck run. It's not designed to run one big long shaft, and all of a sudden you're supposed to get that shaft with belts and compressor pump and everything all running, boom, 1,000, 1,400 RPMs instantly. And that's why you're blowing up transmissions all the time. And transmissions on these new trucks, they're $12,000, $13,000, and you're down for weeks to get it fixed. And that's why PTO systems have the problems that they have. So with the HAVAC system, it's compact, it's tight, it's small. It's got one engine driving one shaft and the fan. It's very simple. There's no belts turning the fan. The only belt you'll see on here is the alternator belt, and then 2 bearings. And the bearings are easy to get to, a couple dabs of grease every couple of weeks and you're good to go. If you can get a 35 horsepower engine to turn your fan and then use another 13 horsepower, 20 horsepower engine to turn just the compressor, then you're using the exact amount of horsepower that you need in the exact spot where you need it. And the best part about all is the suction's pretty much the same. So you're not losing, you're not sacrificing any suction running the system. It's going to be exactly what any of the competitors' trucks are running for the most part. It's pretty much exactly what our old PTO trucks used to run. And so it's a much more efficient system, easier to maintain, lower cost to run.